You must be Zach.
Yes, I am. How did you know?
Well, it says so right here on my cheat sheet.
I carry a whistle.
A whistle?
For safety. It produces 120 decibels of sound. If I blow this entire school would hear it.
Why would you blow it, Zach?
I don't know you. I know everyone in the school. Teachers, students, faculty, custodial departments, administrators.
There's no reason to be frightened, Zach. Zach, there's no need to... Zach, I'm the substitute.
Substitute?
Says you'd be the first one here. You'd have the place ready to go and you can help me with anything I needed today.
I'm not the teacher's pet.
I know.
People think so.
I'm sure.
I just think the proper learning environment needs to be orderly.
I agree.
We have to be efficient.
Of course.
There are only so many hours in the day.
Yes.
We have to maximize our learning potential. Where's Mr. Z?
He's out. I'm Mr. James. It's nice to meet you, Zach.
Is he ill?
He's not feeling well.
This is very unusual. He usually calls me about any change.
It was all last minute.
He's never sick.
Never.
Never. This is very irregular.
Well, he told me to tell you not to worry because you said you would, but he did say you would be a great help to me. Can I count on your help, Zach?
Well, that's what he said. I'd be happy to assist him.
In fact, he said for us, Timmy, just have you run the class.
Really? He said that?
Yes.
I am quite proficient on the ins and outs of the academic process. I hope to be a teacher myself one day, just like Mr. Z.
The world can always use good teachers.
I don't get it. The cheat sheet. I don't get it.
You've never used a cheat sheet before?
I don't cheat.
No, it's not really cheating, Zach. It's more of a guide.
Yes, but it's called a cheat sheet.
Yes.
And it's not cheating.
No, it's
More
more
of a guide, yes, but cheat and guide are two completely different words with two completely different meanings. Well, I get the feeling that you're probably an upstanding, law-abiding citizen. The fact that you refer to it as a cheat sheet infers that you aren't really cheating.
you are precise. I'll try to use my words a little bit more carefully. It's small, this classroom.
We don't need a lot of room. There's only a few of us.
Is that Beethoven?
Ludwig van Beethoven. Very good. He's one of my favorite composers. He didn't compose as much as Mozart or Schubert, but what he did was all brilliant. Well done, of course.
Yeah, that's amazing. I like him. He's not my favorite, but I like him.
What do you like? Bach? Chopin?
Oh, I'm more of a Lennon, McCartney, maybe Jagger fan.
Not sure I'd lump the great composers in with the Beatles and the Stones, but it's all a matter of taste, I suppose.
Well, at least you know who they are.
Are you prepared?
Prepared?
For class, the bell's about to ring. Oh.
Yes, I'm prepared. I have my guide sheet.
You know, I too keep an outline of the everyday curriculum. It seems to be a bit more specific than yours. I have additional copies if you'd like.
I appreciate it, Zach. No thanks. Thank you, Zach.
I have a free period next. I usually like to stay, clean up, read a bit.
That's what you do. Thank you, Zach. See you tomorrow.
You wanted to speak to me in private?
Why do you do that?
What did I do?
You always do that. Why?
What did I do?
You can't talk to my friends like that. You can't treat them like they're stupid.
Stupid is not a word I would use to describe them. Dick, thick, dull, dense, obtuse.
It all means the same thing.
How's it any different from the things they call me? The brainiac, twerp, a pencil neck, Einstein. Oh, well, actually, I don't mind that last one so
You
much.
offend them.
They offend me.
You disrespect them.
They disrespect me.
Just stay away.
I wasn't there to speak to them. I was only there to speak to you. They instigated the whole incident, not me. I just want to speak to you.
What in the world do we have to talk about outside this class, Zach?
You and I have a great deal in common.
No, we don't.
We do.
We don't.
We have this in common.
Yes, what?
This. We both love a spirited debate.
We're not competing, Zach.
We are.
We're not.
We are.
We're not.
We are.
Stop it! You're so annoying. You're like an annoying little brother. Maybe you shouldn't do that. Just don't acknowledge them at all. That would be best.
How's it going to make it possible for me to speak to you? They're always around.
Isn't it enough to just talk here in class?
You're embarrassed for friends.
We're classmates.
It doesn't make sense to me. It's not logical. We're friends, aren't we? We share IQs. We have a lot in common.
We don't have anything in common, Zach.
We're both intelligent people. Isn't that enough?
Enough for what?
I thought you liked me. Logically, it would make sense.
Zach, stop it. Throw logic out the door.
Nothing works unless there's logic.
You want logic? It is logical. You're a kid with an adult-sized brain. You can't talk to people without completely offending them. You're a bully.
Bully? I weigh 105 pounds.
You bully them with your words. That's why you don't have friends. You can't relate to them.
But we do. We relate in class.
Exactly. In class. Don't talk to me in the hallways. It doesn't work there. Don't talk to me in the hallways. I just think it'd be best if we limit our discussions to class. That's all.
Discussions? We are friends, aren't we? Look, there's something I've been meaning to ask you.
Ask me.
Yes, I was reading this great article in the Scientific World. Do you know this magazine? Anyway, it's this wonderful article about
Zach,
this new...
please.
You don't even know what I was going to ask.
Zach, stop.
It's this wonderful article about this exhibit going on downtown.
Zach,
and I
stop.
was wondering if you read it. That's what I was going to ask. If you read the article, what did you think I was going to ask? We are friends. Right, Maggie? We are friends, right?
Hey, guys.
I have to get to class.
No, Maggie, wait. If you
Let her go, Zach. Let her go. I know you like to get to class early, but 22 hours beforehand? It's got pushing it, isn't it?
I like Maggie. I think she's really sweet. You know, I don't think she would ever want to hurt anyone. I think this class and all the people in this class give her something she can't find out in those hallways. Just very special friendship here, Zach. You understand?
being late to class once can result in warning. Second time, it's a trip to Mr. Jabby's office.
Where are you supposed to be?
Social studies.
I'll walk you there, so they don't mark you late. Wouldn't want to tarnish that record of yours.
Mr. James?
Oh, good morning, Zach.
Am I late?
No, I'm early.
Is this how it's going to be this week? You getting here before I do?
Yes, I hope that's not a problem. I'm an early riser.
No, of course.
Do what you do, Zach.
Mr. Jakes, the chalkboard looks clean.
Yeah, I cleaned it.
These erasers.
Yeah, I cleaned that too. Zach, I'm sorry. I'll leave it for you tomorrow, okay?
This is a bit unusual for me.
Just do what you do. I'll try not to get in the way. Zach, don't you have a family, breakfast around the table, that kind of thing?
Yes, of course. Both my parents teach at the university. They need to be there early, so I come here.
Brothers and sisters?
Only child. Come in early and I leave late. I'm Mr. Z's assistant. Like, sort of. We made a great team. He was an only child, so
Yes, I know. You look up to Mr. Z, don't you?
Mr. Jakes, I'm sure you're a capable teacher. And I mean no offense when I say that I do look forward to his return.
No offense taken, Zach. So what kind of things you do when you're at home?
Well, I'm usually here, but I like to build things.
Oh, really? Model trains and planes?
Computers.
Wow, computers, that's impressive.
Not really. It's all in finding the right motherboard. You look for things like supported CPU, Bus speed, sound, video, and WAN, form factor. You know?
No, I really don't. No. But I'd love to see that computer of yours sometime.
Can't. I trashed it. Threw it away.
For what?
I'm a bigger fan of the idea of computers. Not so much what they've become. I mean, it's all just one big social network anyway, right?
And you don't like that?
I get enough taunting here at school, Mr. Jakes. Don't need any more when I go home to put on my computer.
I see.
Do you need help grading? Mr. Z has allowed me the pleasure of the past. He does think I can be a bit tough on them, though.
I appreciate the offer, but I just finished up. Thank you, Zach.
You know, Mr. Jakes, I've been doing a bit of research on you.
Is that right?
Oh, yes, they're incredible resources to find out a person's history.
So you think you know me?
I think I've got a pretty good handle on you. Yes.
So you know I did time.
Time?
Bank robbery, vehicular theft, 5 to 10 in Pontiac State.
No, I did not.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding, Zach. Joke.
Oh, that's funny. You are a student here.
You have a file on me?
Yes, I have a file on everyone.
On everyone.
Yes, it's time. Your first couple of years here were rough academically, but something changed. Over the summer, you went from a D student to an A student.
How did you come by this information?
You were a jock.
I played a few sports.
A few? Football, basketball, baseball, varsity, 4 years straight. Your picture's the display case downstairs.
Yes.
You are a super jock. How does it make you feel to see that picture
Well,
now?
I try not to look at it. You know, the one thing that sticks out when I look at that picture, the one thing I just can't believe when I see it, is
Yes?
how much more hair I had back then.
That's it? You're worried about your androgenetic alopecia?
My what?
Hair loss. You know, you broke a few records in your day. One of them passing yards, which still holds to this day.
Is that right?
Yes, and you are right. You did have more hair back then. Oh, Mr. Jakes was an alumnus. He was a jock.
When did you graduate?
That's Zach. He's got it in his file.
1982.
So that makes you
48.
That's 2 years older than my dad.
4 years older than ours.
Braces, pimples, all that kind of thing. He was prime picked-on material. There's only one reason a person bullies another, right?
low self-esteem. Bullies feel powerful, popular, in control. Typically, they pick out one kid and continually bully them, tearing down their self-esteem to build up their own.
That's right. There were 3 of us, and we picked out Mr. Z, and we were brutal. In fact, it became a real problem. Halfway through my sophomore year, there was serious talk of kicking me off the football team. What did you do to him? That was a long time ago, Zach. I don't know.
Probably at the time.
Well, your mother did tell you stories, didn't she?
Are you going to tell us?
I don't know.
It's an open book in this class, Mr. Jenks. That's what Mr. Z says.
We don't have any secrets.
We can be private too.
I think he should tell
I
us.
think you should.
Yeah, I
It would
think
be a
so.
good
Leave him
idea.
alone.
All right, thanks, Maggie. Jake, what do you think? Should I tell him? You should. Okay. We became obsessed with trying to find ways to pick on Mr. Z. In fact, every time we came up with something that was far worse than the time before. Mr. Z loved to swim. He still does, but every day after school he would go down to the pool and he would do laps. We knew this because we watched his every step. One day we decided to hide out in the locker room and wait for him to come in after his swim. We watched him come in and get undressed. He put the towel around his waist. He was a skinny little kid, you know, you can see every rib on his body. Our plan was to follow him into the shower, take the towel and play keep away with it, which is what we did. We snuck up behind him, we took the towel, and we made him stand there naked, desperately reaching for it. It was so humiliating for him, I could see it on his face. And I knew right then and there I didn't want anything to do with it. One of the boys got this brilliant idea to take that towel and tie his hands together. The other boy found a second towel and tied his feet together. He started to cry, he kept looking at me, begging for me to help him. He knew that I didn't want to be there, but we just left him lying there. We walked out. After a few minutes, I came back. You know, he later told me he always knew that I would come back. Now, why he thought that, I don't know. But I untied his hands and his feet, got him dressed, and I got him home. His parents found out, the police were called, and we got into a lot of trouble. There's a lot of talk about expelling us from school, but Mr. Z, your Mr. Z, had this way of convincing people to do whatever he wanted them to do. He convinced the principal, and he had this surefire way of not only dealing with my bullying, but with my academic problems too. Well, I assume you know this too, Jake.
Tutor.
That's right.
Mr. Z was your tutor.
Mr. Z was my tutor. I didn't want to do it. I thought it was a crazy idea, so I quit school
You dropped out?
for a day and a half.
What made you come back?
Mr. Z came to my door. He came knocking on my door to convince me to come back. I couldn't believe that skinny little kid was standing at my door after everything that I had done to him. You know what he said? He said I was scared. When was I ever scared of anything? I was a quarterback of the football team. I wasn't scared. He said I was scared and I needed to face up to it. So I did what I always did. I punched him in the eye.
What a
And I
jerk.
slammed the door in his face. Meg!
Sorry, I'm sure you're not a jerk now.
It's okay, Meg. Back to me. You know what? He was right. I was scared. I wasn't doing well in school. I couldn't figure out how to fix it. Mr. Z was brilliant, and that scared me too. Probably one of the reasons why I bullied him. You know, he had a way of just convincing people to do things. I opened up the door, he was still standing there. I couldn't believe he was still at my door. He was shaking, he had a little bit of blood trickling down from his eyes. But you know, he just looked at me and he said, I'm scared too, but I can help you. So I stepped aside, he walked into my house, and he tutored me, and I never did worse than an A after that. And I made sure that he was never picked on again.
Can you make sure I'm never picked on again?
Exactly. Mr. Z understood why people bullied. He saw it as a weakness, and once he recognized that, he said I no longer had power over him. He was a lot braver than I could have been. Hey, had the tables been turned, I'm not so sure how I would have reacted. How would you have reacted, Jake?
Revenge. In the end, my brain would have won out. I think Mr. Z should get that. I mean, isn't that what we always do? We just keep letting them bully us without any kind of consequence. We just do it without any cause.
You know, there isn't a day that goes by that I don't have an image of that day in that locker room. It's forever burned in my brain, and worse yet, my soul. Look, maybe he did get revenge on me.
You did?
But maybe the best revenge you can get from anybody that treats you that way is just... Look, I don't know why Mr. Z wanted to be friends or why we even became friends. You know what? It changed my life forever. He said it changed his life forever, too.
And your friends?
They were never my friends, Jane. You know, there was such a negative force in my life, nothing good ever comes out of being around them.
Kind of hard to imagine Mr. Z as a kid.
Oh yeah, Robbie, Mr. Z, he was a kid once. Skinny little kid with a big head. Probably to hold in that big brain of his, you know.
Well, the size of a person's cranium is not
Humor's that. It's joking. Besides, there's something else I know about Mr. Z that only Jenks knows to do.
What?
The picture you guys ever seen.
You know, never told you guys?
Nope, inside information. You guys really don't know?
No, I know. I've known for a while, actually.
Is there anything you don't know?
Well, I imagine there are bits of information that have eluded me, but there is still time. I'll allow you this one, Jake.
Well, thank you. Robbie, Mr. Z,
He was on the football team.
was on the football team.
Hey, I taught him how to play. He said I owed him. It was the only thing I knew how to do at the time. He walked on his senior year and he made it. What? You know what? He didn't play on a whole lot. In fact, he became a master of breaking down the other team's strategies.
That makes sense.
He didn't spend a whole lot of time on the field. He spent more time on the chalkboard devising plays for the coach. You know, we had a winning season because of it.
Wait, nowhere in my files does it say Mr. Z played any sports.
Technically, he played in one game.
I didn't hear this.
Coach put him in the very last game of the season. I couldn't believe it. He was such a little guy, and everybody just towered over him. I was worried he was going to get hurt. I thought he was going to get clocked. So I said, in the huddle, I said, listen, you just run. You stay away from everybody. Just run far. And guess what? Who was the only person open during that play? Down at the end of the field. I threw the longest pass of my life.
And he dropped.
And he caught
caught it. He caught it?
Right on the 5-yard line.
Did he get a touchdown?
He had 5 yards to run. Tripped over his own shoelaces.
Oh,
Time ran out. Hey, it's fine. He couldn't believe he caught the ball. They couldn't believe he caught the ball. People in the stands were going crazy. You know, he became popular after the game.
He never told us that story.
Probably she was embarrassed.
He was popular.
He wasn't popular, he was now flavor of the month.
What's your problem with fitting in? Maybe you just wanted to fit in.
What are you fitting into?
Peer groups, social groups.
Why?
Well, peer groups play an important role in the adolescents. Using peer groups.
So what peer groups are you fitting into, James? Huh? What groups in their right minds would accept any of you, any of us into their group?
Well, the answer is obvious, isn't it? You have friends here, Jake, people you can talk to, people you see eye to eye with. The answer is obvious, isn't it? Somebody answer that question for him. Zach?
He should say it.
Jake, I know what you're thinking.
Oh, you do?
Say it, Jake.
This is not my group.
We accept you, Jake.
Like it or not, you're a part of this group.
He's embarrassed.
And you're not?
No,
Liar, they talk about us, they make fun of us.
they all do it. The cheerleaders make fun of the geeks make fun of the cheerleaders.
That's true.
And the jocks make fun of everyone else. You're not being singled out, Jake.
Would you like me to be a part of this group, Jake?
He doesn't.
Hey, Dumb and Dumber, you want to see Jack? No. Princess?
No?
All right, Squirt, where's the teach?
Where's the teach? Why do you speak that way?
Our lead lecture just answer, Squirt.
I don't really appreciate you calling me squirt. It's very derogatory.
You're up to short. Squirt.
Leave him alone, Jake. Why are you so nasty today?
You know, if you're trying to use squirt as some sort of a reference to my stature, then you're completely incorrect. Doesn't mean that at all.
Can you
Look
just
it up.
answer the question? Where is the teacher?
He's not here.
Really? Squirt, as a noun. A syringe used for a quick stream of water. As an adjective. The action or instance of an impudent youngster.
Impudent.
Impudent. To be marked by contemptuous or cocky boldness and the complete disregard for others. Insolent.
So, you're good at memorizing the dictionary. It's not very impressive, Jake.
Leave him alone.
You're gonna defend him? Look, I've seen how you are in the hallways with your friends, and now you're just gonna defend him?
It's different. I don't embarrass him. I don't put him down in front of
You don't think
others.
ignoring him doesn't put him down in front of others?
It's different, Zach.
I mean, you don't like it, do you?
Jake,
you don't like it, do you?
I
Jake,
understand.
Understand. You don't
Jake,
like it, do you? Damn
stop.
Zach, answer
Jake.
it. You like it.
No.
He likes it, for God's
Jake.
sakes. He has since the 3rd grade.
Suck it.
That's not
Do you think there's
fair.
anything worse you can do than ignore him? We're telling you doesn't exist.
Jake,
I don't care about that.
You don't care about that?
Jake,
No.
stop.
You don't care about that?
Jake,
You don't care that you're
Jake,
shocking about that?
Jake,
Doesn't you
stop.
care?
Yes, I do care about that.
It's different out here. My friends don't understand.
Understand what? That he's a kid just like the rest of them?
He's not.
He is.
He's not.
He is.
They can't relate. He can't relate.
They don't try to relate.
Because they can't.
They don't try.
They can't. They think he's a freak.
Well, that's what he is, right? No. Look at him. Look at the way he dresses. That's pretty freaky, right? Look at that stupid pocket knife. That's freaky, right? Everything about him just oozes freaky.
I am not a freak.
Wow.
I understand that much of the stupid stuff.
You know what's wrong, right?
Yes.
Sit down. Sit down. Mr. Z's been sick.
But yes, but it's only temporary.
He's been sick for a while now, Zach. Zach, he's been sick for a
He
while.
would have told me you would have
James's,
emailed.
James's father's been treating him.
Cancer?
No.
They thought that they could stay
doesn't
ahead
have
of it. They
cancer.
thought that
He
they
wouldn't
could
have-
stop
Is
him.
he dying? No,
Zach,
he's not
please,
dying.
Zach.
He wouldn't do that
Zach,
to us.
please
Not-
listen to me. I need to explain
James,
this to you. We need to sit
James,
down and talk about
James,
it.
James,
Zach,
stand
please.
up, James.
Zach.
You always have the answer, James. You have to know, James. Stand up, James. Stand up, James. You always have the answers. You always know, James. Come on.
I don't know.
You always know. You always know. You always know.
Wow. Bell rang, you're still here.
So are you okay? You think we know how to deal with all the bullying we get in school? You know, I don't consider being smart a weakness.
I hope not.
But the kids in the school, they look for the weakness. And if you don't have one, they try to turn one of your strengths into a weakness. Now, all the things that I know, all the things that I've learned, I'll never be able to understand that.
That's interesting.
Look, I know you're thinking, and despite what you might say, I like Zach. He's brilliant and will probably win the Nobel Prize for God knows what.
It probably won't be for fashion. You're hard on him.
And that's also what I don't understand. Why am I so hard on him when I should be going there for him?
Look, maybe you can just chalk it up to it's part of growing up. It's part of learning.
That just seems too simple.
You know, sometimes things are just simple, Jake. You know, it's gotta be tough being a kid and smarter than most adults around you.
He's a constant reminder for me. A reminder of all the things that people got picked on for. Look, I hear people say in the hallways sometimes, and I just get so mad, I just want to jump them. But then I don't, and then I get mad at myself when I think I should have and I didn't. And look, I know what this class does for me. The twins, Zach, James, hell, even Maggie.
What does the class do for you?
I watch Zach. Yeah. You know, in the hallways, when people are saying nasty things about him, he hears them too. I know he does, but he continues to wear that stupid pocket protector, that ridiculous uniform. Could he be more of a target? I know what he's doing. He's laughing at them. He knows one day they're going to look back at everything that they've ever said to him and they're going to regret all of it completely.
That's right. Maybe when they think back on it, they'll become better people because of it. You never answered my question. What does this class do for you, Jake?
I hate it from the beginning. This class, this school.
Mr. Z?
I mean, you might as well put big old balls on your head. I hear the kids say in the hallways, oh, there's the geeks, they're geek clothes.
Is it really that bad? I mean, this class, this school. Look, maybe you'll never be. But don't be surprised. Someday down the road, you look back and take pride in being part of something that most people could never be a part of. You're gifted, Jake. Even all these kids are some of the most gifted kids I've ever seen in this school, the state of hell, the universe. It's a part of who you are.
Everybody's gonna miss Mr. Z.
It's going to be tough not having him around.
How's that?
He's pretty broken up about this. Mr. Z is like a father to him, you know. He's going to need you and everybody else in this class. I'm going to lean on.
My mom says she didn't like it too much. At first she says a change by the time we were wrong. She says it's because of him. She says he protects us.
Yes.
It must be tough not being able to protect him now.
Yes.
You must be pretty upset. Look, I'm sorry about your friend. But I think it'll be alright if we decide to come back and teach.
You remind me of him, you know, Mr. Z. You remind me of him in... It's you.
Me?
You're the 155.
Somebody's getting smarter.
Oh, it's going to be a real pleasure having all of you in my class. So much I can learn from you. Hey, maybe, just maybe I can teach you something.
Yeah, I doubt that.
Yeah, me too.
Do you mind if I stay here for a couple minutes?
Of course. Sit down. All right, guys, thank you so much. Did you like the show? Oh, good. We love being here. Thank you so much. So happy you could come. But then again, they probably made you, right? You had no choice. That's okay. We're glad you're here. We love so much doing this show. We've literally done this show for thousands and thousands of students over the last couple of years, all these kids. We've had a few different casts. We go through a lot of different actors that come through here. So what I'd like to do first is I'd like to just hand the mic off to our actors. They're going to introduce themselves. And I want to open it up to questions, okay? Any questions that you guys have for me? I wrote the play a few years ago. For any of the actors, you know, talk about the story, their characters. If there's things that you connected with in the story, we'd love to hear that too. So let's start right here with this young man.
Hello, my name is Adam Kaz, and I'm a sophomore at Deerfield High School.
Hello, I'm Joey Slater, and I'm a junior at Deerfield.
I'm Danny Farber. I'm a senior, and this is my last show with Gifted.
I'm Ellen Kershke. I'm also a senior, and this is also my last show.
Hi, I'm Nicole Johnston, and I'm a junior at Deerfield.
Hey, I'm Matt Gold, and I'm also a junior at Deerfield.
Hi, I'm Ari Brown. I'm a junior at Deerfield, and I did the sound for today.
Now, Ari, by the way, it also plays the part of Zach. It was just his turn to do all of the technical stuff here. Any guesses as to what town we're actually from? I'm just curious. Anybody? All right, you're listening. That's excellent. We are from Deerfield, and you know, it's been a great time kind of working within that community and finding actors within that community. The one thing that we love about this play, and we would certainly wish would happen with this play, is that we feel that a lot of the themes, a lot of the things that you see happening in this play can happen in any community. And we would love for communities all over to take this play and find their own actors, you know, people from within their community, and do this for their community. Because I think that there are a lot of similarities, you know, amongst people in different communities. We see a lot of the same things going on, especially the issue of bullying and how people treat each other. So we think it's a special show for that. I'd like to open it up for any questions that anybody has. I think that we have a microphone. Is that a question or is that a stretch? Okay, here we go. Someone was stretching. Hi, what's your name?
Lulu,
Hi.
have any of you guys been bullied in your school?
Okay, I'm going to have one of these kids answer. Who wants to take it? Bullying? All right, let's give it to Danny, our veteran actor today.
Do you want to? Sadly enough, you get out of middle school, you go to high school. Things like bullying still occurs. It still happens on a daily basis, and it's maybe not as extreme as you saw in the play. It might not be, you know, like physical harassment. It's a lot of times verbal, and even worse nowadays, you know, like online. I don't know if you guys Facebook's yet, but there's a lot of that going on. And it's one of those things where, you know, as you can see in the show, there are three very different groups of bullying. There's, you know, the bullyee, the bullier, and then there's what the twins kind of were with the bystanders. And, you know, it's one of those things that, like, being in this show and being in this production has really made me conscious of, you know, how I treat other people and how I don't let it, you know, I don't walk past it and don't do anything about it as much anymore. I take more of a conscious effort to kind of put a stop to it when I see it. But yeah, I have been bullied personally, and, you know, I've seen it happen.
1 second. Our first question coming up here. First question always gets a gifted T-shirt. I wish I had 200 of them to give you all, but, you know, it takes a brave person to do that first one. There you go. If I may, you know, Danny makes a good point of all the different types of bullying that you see out there. You know, I thought it was interesting during the play. I don't know if any of you sort of picked this up or not. When Zach here and Maggie are together, and he obviously loves her. We've decided that later on in life, he's going to marry Maggie, just so you know, in case you're curious. But eventually she falls in love with him. But, you know, she calls him a bully. And it's interesting, he doesn't realize that a bully, he says he weighs 105 pounds. Why is he a bully? He's a bully because of the words that he uses. He obviously loves being smart, but he takes this strength, this gift that he has, and he uses it as a weapon of some sorts when you think about it. And he talks down to people, so he bullies people with his words. So there are definitely different types of bullying out there outside of the physical. So, do another question? Sure.
My name's Isaiah, and how did you solve the bullying at your school?
All right, Isaiah, good question. How do you solve bullying when you see it at your school? Anybody? Matt, you want to take this? Matt loves to talk.
Well, a lot of times when you're at school, you see bullying, and you're like, I'm going to walk down the hallway, I'm not involved in it. I see it, but it's no big deal. It may not be a big deal for you, but for a lot of people, it hurts. It hurts really bad. And it's everyone's responsibility to say something, to stop it, even if it's not your friend. It's not right. If that was the situation where you were in, it would hurt you even more. Maybe you're bullied for what you're wearing, what you're a part of, but when the 8th graders, when you guys go into high school, you're all going to go into your own groups, whether it be theater, whether it be sports, and it doesn't matter what you're interested in, and it doesn't matter who bullies you because you like what you like. So just always think about that when you're going down the hallway and see someone being bullied.
You know, you can...
I wonder what that says about me. I don't know. That's a weird way to think about it. For one thing, that's another labeling bully thing, and I'm not sure that's based on opinion of what constitutes a nerd. I don't think. And plus, no, I'm gonna say no.
Let me tell you about Adam and every one of these kids. It's been great getting to know every single one of them. And once you get to know somebody, you begin to sort of realize all the good things about them. All these kids are pretty bright, pretty smart, a lot smarter than I am. They're all very kind. And I think that they've learned a lot from this. And once you get to know people and give somebody a chance and you begin to see those good things in them, I think you can accept whomever it is that you meet, And that's the thing, you give everybody a chance. Give everybody a chance.
I'm Mia.
Mia?
What happened to Mr. Z?
What do you think? Wow, you guys are tough. The one thing I love about writing plays is I love to leave questions out there. So you guys decide. Does he live? Does he die? I'll let you decide. I know what happens to Mr. Z. But whatever it is, you decide. Everybody wants to know that one. 2 more questions. 2 more.
All right, put your hands down. Hands down during the answers. Okay?
My name's Maggie, and
Maggie? All right, you're good.
why did you choose to write the play not saying if Mr. Z died or not?
Well, I think sometimes when you write stories, you want to allow the audience to get really involved in the story. You want them to be able to think about the story once they've left the theater. You think about the issues that you saw, you think about the characters, and you think about what might have happened to all these people. I mean, think about all these students when they grow up. Who are they going to become? Is Zach going to marry Maggie? Maybe, I don't know. And that's why. I wanted you all to sort of leave a little bit wondering about them and thinking about them. One more.
Hi, one time when I was bullied, everyone in the school was being mean to me, and mainly because just one person convinced them all. Has it ever happened that and people have only picked on you guys is because someone told them to, or was it because of your group?
Thank you for sharing that.
That was really brave of you to just say that right now. We appreciate that greatly. We love to come to these schools. We don't love to hear stories like that, but we love to hear people that are brave enough to say things like that. And I would have to say that, maybe not so much now, or maybe crucially right now, but it's just going to get worse as you grow up. It's those around you affect your decisions more than you know, more than you might affect your own decisions. They talk about peer pressure a lot of times. It's not so much as pressure, it's more of peer influence. There have been times, where one person gets a really funny idea to like, oh, just pick on this one kid and like get everybody to do it, and oh, like the majority of the people are having a really good time with it, except for that one kid who's being picked on, and like you kind of just got to think about it in that way. You got to think about it like, oh, well, how do you think that feels for that one kid? It probably doesn't feel very good. And the fact that peer influence is such like a crucial thing, and especially in middle school right now for you guys, it's really one of those things to recognize and then try to stop if you can. Peer influence can be a very positive thing, but when it's used negatively, it can really damage something.
And I think a very simple thing that you can do is you can say, how would I feel in that situation if I was the one that was bullied? You know how you would feel. Why would you want to make somebody else feel that way? So if you just stop for a second and think about it, and stop yourself, don't let anybody else influence you, I think you're going to be great. Thank you, I appreciate it. Guys, thank you so much for coming out. We had a great time.